So we are starting with autonomy, and we will begin with a thought experiment, which is both a thought experiment in the sense that it's sort of purely in our minds, but I don't think it's very far away from being reality. You can decide for yourself. So the thought experiment is very simple. We imagine that through some kind of platform like LinkedIn, you could get the perfect job for you, right? You put in all your personal information, your interests, your educational background, previous work history, and so on, all that kind of stuff. And then LinkedIn analyzes that information. And of course, because it's a big data sort of optimizer, it will connect your information with, say, information of people you've worked with, the kind of people you tend to get along with, the kinds of trajectories they have. So if you have information about the applicant, which in this case is you, right, your background, your education, your interests in jobs, plus all the information about people you've worked with, and maybe information about family members too, because sometimes brothers and sisters are alike, sometimes they're different. Probably the machine can figure that out too. But if you have this giant network of information, which includes people's interests and strengths and background and so on, then it's very possible that LinkedIn could, with its analytic powers and its ability to understand what kinds of jobs have worked well for other people in the past who are like you, it's very possible that LinkedIn could really provide for you almost a perfect job, right? And then to make this a thought experiment, what we say is, well, let's just imagine that it is a perfect job. Let's imagine that by signing up for LinkedIn, you get the one job which is better than you could find for yourself. Sounds good, right? And you go to LinkedIn, give your information, you get the right job. Here's the problem. Here's the catch. The catch is that when you put all of your information into LinkedIn so that they can find the right job for you, that also locates lots of other jobs as being the wrong job, right? So, for example, when I was young, I could just go knock on a door in a place and say, "Can I have a job as an insurance salesman?" Let's say, and they ask, "Well, do you have any experience?" And I could just sort of make something up, right? Maybe I couldn't make up that I was an insurance salesman, but I could make up something that was sort of going along those lines. And they'd say, "Okay," and then maybe I could get a job as an insurance salesman. In fact, the whole world was, just 20 years ago, the whole world was pretty much open to you. No one really could find out about your background beyond the most superficial things, right? Maybe your university degree or most recent job. But beyond that, everyone was a blank slate. Everyone could kind of go and experiment with what they wanted. The catch that we're proposing in this thought experiment is LinkedIn will give you the perfect job, but by the same token, it will disallow you from getting every other job. Why? Because it's not just you, the user, the employee, who has access to the information on LinkedIn. Employers also pay money to LinkedIn in order to see these profiles of employees. And so now, if I go to, let's say, an insurance company and say, "Look, my name is James, I want to be an insurance salesman," and they ask me, "What's your experience?" and I make something up, then the insurance company can go look on LinkedIn and see, "Look, this Brousseau is full of it. He really hasn't done any of the things he says." So it's a strange situation. On the one hand, LinkedIn is helping me to get the kind of job that is right for me, that's right for my background, my experience, my interests. But at the same time, and by the exact same mechanism, it is denying me the ability to try new things, the ability to go say, "Look, I've decided I want to be an insurance salesman." I'm just making that up. Maybe it's an accountant or a lawyer or who knows what, right? But all of those things are now sort of out of bounds for me because people at the companies can see, well, Brousseau is not a natural fit for that kind of job. He likes to sit by himself and write and read and work on things. He's perfect for philosophy, but other things, no. So it's odd that on the one hand, LinkedIn seems to promote my freedom, right? It helps me get the kind of job I want. But on the other hand, when you look carefully, it seems as though it takes away quite a bit of freedom too. It takes away from the ability to try something else. So that's the thought experiment. And the question here is, do you sign up? Do you make that deal? You get what you want, the job that's perfect for you, that's better or as good as the one you could find on your own, but you give up the chance to experiment, to find out for yourself, to try new things. I'm not sure what the answer to that is. But that question goes to the heart of what autonomy is, what we will be talking about in this session. So the kinds of questions we're going to ask is, well, what is the value of autonomy? What is it worth? If autonomy is another way of saying personal freedom, or as we were saying on the last slide, the ability to experiment, to try new things, to find out for yourself what the right or wrong job is. If autonomy is some mix of those things, how much is it worth? What will you give up for it? And then another sort of secondary question is, well, how can it be described? That's what we're talking about now. But also, how can it be measured? Right? If you want to ask how wealthy I am, which is not very, you can just go to my bank, right, and look and see there's a number there. That tells you how wealthy I am. If you want to know how tall I am, you can do that too. Right? Go to the doctor's office and they've got in a file somewhere in there my height. They know my weight as well. So those things are easy to measure, my wealth, my height, my weight. But how do you measure my freedom? How do you measure how free or how much I am or how much autonomy I have? What are the units? Is it ounces? Is it meters? Is it miles per hour? Right? It's unclear even how we would measure autonomy. So these are some of the questions that intersect with and surround that thought experiment. It's not just the first question, which is, will you take the deal or not? Right? Will you give up the chance to experiment in order to get the perfect job? It's also, what exactly are you giving up? Does this example capture part of autonomy or personal freedom? Does it capture all of autonomy and personal freedom? What exactly is it capturing? And then, insofar as we have some idea of what it is, how do you measure it? With what units? These are the kind of questions we will be looking at in this session.